Well, guys, we're finding ourselves in a little bit of a weird situation. We created a whole show with a purpose to find this man a fight. And now, after the big win at UFC 266, it looks like the fights are finding him. Dan Hooker joins us from a nap in Las Vegas to find out that he will be on UFC 267 against Islam Makhachev. Dan Hooker, welcome back to the show. And what are we calling this one? It's not Dan Hooker looking for a fight. I guess it's Dan Hooker reacting to a fight.
Has too many fights.
Too many fights, man. This is
Can never have too many fights.
yesterday. You're playing Drunk Uno with Oscar Willis with the Mac Life. You're doing shots with Volkanovski with the Schmo and Helen Yee. You're saying no, Islam Makhachev. Logistically, it can't work. And now, mere hours later, a day later, all of a sudden you're booked. How did this come together, man?
Yeah, they hadn't offered me the fight yet. That's there's no real there's no real secret to it. Like I'm like I can't turn a fight down. It's like the craziest thing. I'm like, nah, this is like the smart thing to do. This is the smart thing to do. He asked me if I wanted to fight, and I said yeah. It was yeah, I can't turn fights down.
Hang on, so when you were doing the Schmo Zone or Oscar Willis and stuff, this was yesterday. This is like less than 24 hours ago. So the offer came, within the last 24 hours. That's how quickly it was signed, sealed, and delivered, right?
Yeah, I woke up this morning, had a couple of missed calls.
From who?
Called from Sean Shelby. I called him back. And he says, "You're still alive. I've been trying to get a hold of you for the last how many days?" And I said, "Hey, I'm barely alive, but I'm hanging in there."
Too much Uno.
Yeah, you want to fight Islam Makhachev? And I said, "Yeah, cool, I'll fight him."
Sounds like us trying to get you for the post-fight show that a few months back. Dan, where'd you go? Blake had you with the pirate ship. So wait, let me find out about this though. Obviously, like you manage yourself, you organize your deals yourself. You would have known that they would have maybe tried for like a Tony Ferguson or something. Was you saying that the fight's not happening? Was that like kind of like a part of the negotiations, maybe to get them to offer you a little bit extra for sticking around and taking this fight?
Oh, they knew full well the situation. They knew the situation I'm in. I don't know. It was kind of all just done like without saying. Like Sean Shelby knows the situation I'm in. He knows that taking this fight means that I'm stuck outside of New Zealand like indefinitely. So he just came to me with something that made sense. But yeah, it was, to be honest, he just asked me if I wanted to fight. Like it's they've given me like a little bit extra for having to lift my life up and completely move it like somewhere else. But it's not about the money. It's about proving you're the best fighter in the world at the end of the day.
So when you call up the wife, she thinks Dan Hooker's calling me, telling me about his fun time at the gun range. We saw you had a good time over there. Have fun time at the Raiders game. What's the first thing that she says to you when you say, "Honey, I might not see you for the next few years"?
Oh, she had a hunch. She had a hunch. This is a smart woman. This woman's been with me since before I've been in the UFC. So she knows what I'm like. She knows I can't turn fights down, and this is what I do. So she was cool.
So obviously, I know you don't have sort of a definitive answer as far as how you're getting home, but like, do you have any idea at all? Like, I know that you kind of, there's no video down. I don't know if the Wi-Fi dropped out or what happened. Are you still there? Dan?
I wonder if Dan went into like the elevator or something.
Oh yeah, here we go. You back? Yep.
I'll be back. I'm just moving downstairs so Frank doesn't drive off.
Okay, cool. Do you want to go sideways with the video? Yeah, perfect. Awesome. This is like Cribs, but an entire hotel. So, okay, do you have any idea how you're getting home? Because you're stuck indefinitely, right?
Now just go into like the
Okay, so Dan's in an elevator. The master of suspense.
Yeah, we're moving now.
Yeah.
You can hear me?
We can now. Yeah, you said.
Yeah, just go into the lottery with everyone else. It's like it's just a luck of the draw whether you're going to be able to come back to New Zealand now or in a year and a half or 2 years. You just don't know.
Yeah, it's like playing the lottery for money, except you have much less chance of actually getting back into New Zealand than winning the $20 million.
Oh, bro, that's like terrible. Like, it's obviously like a situation like mine. But then there's like obviously like people.
All right, I think Dan's Wi-Fi is. Oh, okay.
I'm out again.
We got you back. Yep. Go on.
Yeah, it's just like a real like cruel system on the whole.
Yeah. But I was going to say, obviously, Jacinta Ardern, she put out a bit of a statement, but it doesn't look like she's really going to be doing anything about these rules and regulations. Eugene Behrman was on before, spoke about how all you guys want is the fair treatment that the All Blacks get and some of the other sports teams in New Zealand. And obviously, All Blacks, mean a lot to the country, but there's a great sort of thing there where you guys are actually more popular in the States and around the world than a lot of the All Blacks. So there's definitely the case to be made where you guys deserve the same rights as these sporting teams. What do you think is the next step? Or are you, in your mind, are you sort of just kind of giving up at this stage with things getting switched out before you make this big move permanently to the United States?
Like same thing. You got to focus on I got like a pretty tough matchup. I got to focus on that fight. She come out and said you guys are getting treated fairly, and I agree with that. We're getting treated like everyone's getting screwed. I feel like everyone's getting fairly screwed altogether. Business owners, people trying to travel, people trying to get home and see sick relatives. I feel like it's the system needs something to change, and it needs to change very quickly.
100%. So as you mentioned, you got Islam Makhachev. What's your preparation look like now for Islam, who, it's only a matter of weeks away now?
I got Frank Hickman over here. So he's, Andre Paulette's a wrestling coach of mine. Frank Hickman's a wrestling coach of mine. So I get to work with him up close and personal. You'll use all the facilities at the PI and all the resources they have there. So no, I'll be, it's already looking like a far better training camp than the last one. So I got no real complaints.
Really? So this one, even though this is so short notice, it could even be better than, well, I guess you training in a garage, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Like, that's a hard thing to say. Like, oh, you're not even training with any of your team or your coaches. It's like, nah, but it could be better than the last time. So it's, it's a tough spot.
How long are they going to be there? Are they stuck as well? And will they be there for the fight and to be in your corner? Or are they only going to be there for a little while? And then what happens on fight night?
Just Frank's coming with me. Frank will come with me to, he'll train with me over here and come with me to Abu Dhabi. I can't ask any coaches to come fly over, meet me in Fight Island, and then not be able to return. Like, that's they got families and jobs and all that kind of thing they need to focus on. I wouldn't even ask them to put themselves on the line like that. It's
Yeah, no, I can totally understand. Obviously, like asking your team to come over, it's a huge ask with the travel situation. It's just crazy that you're going to be doing it with kind of a skeleton crew. Speaking of traveling, man, do you want to go to UFC 268? I would love to go to UFC 268. Dennis and I aren't even going to UFC 268, but we'd love to. And the crazy thing is, we're excited to let you know about this insane giveaway as we partner up with our new partners at Canadips. Canadips are giving away 2 free tickets for you that include airfare and luxury lodging to UFC 268, Usman versus Covington 2 in Madison Square Garden, New York, one of my favorite places in the world, and you can go there, live like a king. All you got to do, you don't even need to buy anything. All you got to do is head to CanadipsCBD.com, join in on the madness. Isn't that right, Dennis?
That's right, man. Madison Square Garden, the Mecca. And you guys can go there thanks to Canadips CBD. They are a smokeless, tobacco and nicotine-free dip alternative with cutting-edge CBD technology. No more rubbing lotion on your thighs after rolling on the mat or sneaking gummy bears into your workout regimen. Canadips CBD are fast-acting, calorie-free, and are the best smokeless product on the market. You can now pack fatties anywhere, anytime, and not worry about the wife or bad looks in the office. To win this amazing package, just like Casper said, no purchase is necessary. Head to CanadipsCBD.com and click the Fight of the Year link on the homepage. Drop an email and phone number, and Canadips will pick one lucky winner on October 25th at 5 p.m. PST Live on the @Canadips Instagram. You guys can also enter @Canadips Instagram. Type it in and look for the blue check verified account. Click the link in the bio, man. Get into this. What an unbelievable competition.
Yeah, that's right. Just promise you'll send us some photos when you're having fun in New York, and we're still here in Australia, unfortunately. Speaking of UFC 267, obviously we got Dan Hooker versus Islam Makhachev, and a bunch of crazy other fights. Jan Blachowicz versus Glover Teixeira, Volkov versus Tabura, Li Jingliang versus Khamzat Chimaev, and a whole bunch of others. What are you betting on? Who are you betting on? There's only one place to make your bets, especially with this juicy Dan Hooker versus Islam Makhachev fight. Isn't that right, Dennis?
That's right, man. You are talking, of course, about my bookie. And if you guys sign up this week with promo code submission, you can take advantage of up to a $1,000 bonus on your first deposit. That's promo code submission. Get yourself a free cash bonus on top of the free bets and boosted odds that my bookie have to offer. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with the promo code submission and my bookie.
That's right. And while you're flying to New York, they've got that check luggage limit. Don't be over that limit because you got a bush in your pants. Make sure to get rid of that. You want to be partying in New York, right? So make sure you're strutting around in New York City like Ric Flair with the smoothest balls in town. And of course, our good friends at Manscaped provide nothing but that with the Lawnmower 4.0, the best grooming tool on the market. Say goodbye to cuts with the skin-safe technology. You can do it in the dark and the shower if you like. It's waterproof. It's got an LED light. It's got 90 minutes of battery time, wireless charging, so you can just dock it, leave it there in your bathroom, forget about it, and it's always ready. It's got the travel lock, so when you go to New York, it doesn't go off in your bag and waste the battery. It is the perfect grooming tool, and you can shave anything. It doesn't have to be your sack. It can be your arms, your back, anywhere where hair grows. The Performance Package 4.0 comes with the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, the Crop Preserver ball deodorant, the Crop Reviver toner, the Performance Boxer briefs, and they give you a bag to stick it all in to travel, the Shed travel bag. It's a great little gift, isn't that right, Dennis?
Man, they make life easy. And if you win this competition, you go to Madison Square Garden. We all know Derek Lewis, his balls was hot. Let your balls cool down a little bit with Manscaped. Use the promo code submission. Get 20% off and free shipping. And if you do end up going to New York, make sure those balls are cool, not hot. We don't want hot balls when you're up there watching the big fights cast. That could be uncomfortable. So do that with the code word submission, 20% off and free shipping.
All right. With that out of the way, since that ad read, many hours have passed magically. Dan has gone to his wrestling practice, somehow come back in the last few minutes that we've been talking about all the other stuff. Dan, how was wrestling practice, man? That's really the key here.
Yeah. Oh, mate. Everyone that knows me is gonna know what just happened. They're gonna know that I had training. So whatever I was doing, I was shutting it off, and it's time to get to the gym.
You threw the phone out the window.
Yeah.
Because if you're not 15 minutes early, you are late.
You came there an hour early. You're just like, yeah, forget submission, man. They'll be around when I come back. You come back, 25 stage 5 clinger messages on Instagram going, Dan, are you there? Dan, will you come back? We're staking out your hotel room. No, but in all seriousness, man, you and Frank Hickman obviously just finished up your wrestling practice. Islam's strategy, I suppose, to beating you would be on the ground in the wrestling. Do you think he might be underestimating a little bit what he's taken on here when it comes to battling you on the ground?
Yeah, like obviously he's got a pretty high opinion of himself. And he's like, credit to him, he's done pretty well in like his UFC career thus far. I'm excited. It's challenging to me. That's a big challenge to me. So I'm very excited for this fight because I feel like I'm one of the most well-rounded guys in the world. So it's time to go out there and prove it and show it. So I feel like this is a great opportunity to show where I stack up.
I think people thought that if this fight was going to come together, it'd be this massive fight. You'd both have full camps. And obviously, you're stepping up on short notice, showing off, the biggest balls in New Zealand. How well do you think you can actually prepare for Islam in, such a short turnaround? And how much do you think your previous camp, if anything, helped you at all?
Yeah, like I'm ready to go again. I'm not all beat up from like a super drawn out training camp. Because it was like staying fit and training in my garage and pretty limited to what I could do. So I'm, like people were like thinking, how are you going to jump straight back into like all the hard stuff? because I haven't done the hard stuff. I haven't done the hard sparring, hard wrestling for a long time. So I feel like even though I just fought, like my body's fresh and good to go.
Islam has said that sort of he wants to stand more in his fights, but his coaches tell him to focus on the wrestling. What do you imagine his game plan is going to be in this fight with you? And do you think he's going to try and attempt to do any striking with you, or is it going to be straight away trying to get those takedowns, in your opinion?
Yeah, I expect him to try and get some takedowns. Like that.
He's not even trying it. In your mind, he's not even trying it. Like, he's not even going to try and show off any kind of aspect of his striking in this one.
No, I wouldn't expect him to. Like, he's a specialist. Like, he's great at what he does. Why would he go away from it? He never has like deviated from that plan of attack. I don't expect him to deviate, especially in like a fight like this.
Mm-hmm. I know, like, obviously you're well-rounded and you're going in there very excited, and you've been in there with, like, you know, some of the best in the division, but where would you say he stacks up in terms of some of your past opponents in terms of difficulty? Because I feel like he's in that point where he's like a very highly touted prospect, but people are still trying to figure out what his ceiling is. How stiff of a challenge do you think he is as a fighter?
I feel like, yeah, well, he's it's just the fact that he's like a specialist that makes him a bit different. Like, not many guys have like the grappling capability that he does and the style he implements it. I definitely feel I've fought specialists of the same caliber, but in different areas. Like, I feel like Paul Felder's like a very strong specialist in the striking. Like a guy like Poirier is kind of more like me, like not a real specialist, but quite capable everywhere. So it's just styles make fights. Like, this will be like, I obviously have the striking advantage, just because I feel like I'm like a more well-rounded guy. But his advantage will lie in the grappling, and that's no secret. Like, everyone knows that.
So we know when Alex Volkanovski spoke to us about the Brian Ortega fight, he goes, hey, look, you know, Brian is a super dangerous grappler. He's got a lot of submissions, but if the fight goes to the ground, I'm not afraid of that. Like, I'm good on the ground as well. Is that the kind of mindset you've got as well? Like, obviously you don't want this maybe to all take place on the ground, but if it does end up down there, it's not something that you're afraid of, like some of the previous opponents that Islam's had.
Nah, like, I feel like all my like aspects are just as good as each other. I feel like my striking, wrestling, and like submission game is like all pretty similar. And just because I tend to strike and I've had an advantage, and I use my range and play it smart in most of those fights, doesn't mean I'm not like a capable wrestler or a grappler. But I'm not going to sit here and, I don't know, just defend my skill set in the interviews, because it feels what it is. Like, I feel like I'm just sitting here like, oh, I'm not shit at jiu-jitsu. Like, I feel like it will be easier. Like, this is why I'm so excited for this fight, because I can just go out there and show it. I don't have to sit in all these interviews and say like, yeah, I'm pretty sure this guy's not going to manhandle me, because no one's ever just come out there, grabbed a hold of me and manhandled me. Like, I'm pretty capable in all areas, and I'm pretty confident.
Yeah, 100%. And apologies if we're coming off as like disrespectful in any way.
No, definitely not. Like, I don't feel like attack. I feel like it's just like a normal train of questioning.
But, you know, we're still trying to figure this out, Dan. This is new for us as well. You have to think about us too here. You know, I know you're fighting him in a few weeks, but don't be selfish here. We're trying to figure this out for ourselves. Now, because one of the things I was going to say is, obviously matchup-wise, it's a very, very interesting one for the division and for the fans. In terms of things, how they play out in terms of actually making it over to Fight Island, how you feel physically. I mean, you just had a fight not too long ago How are you envisioning sort of the body feeling? And is it a weird situation where you kind of have to relax things for a week or so, let the body heal up a bit, and then accelerate again? How does that sort of schedule and process look to you as you sort of get ready to go over to Fight Island for another fight of this kind of caliber?
Yeah, there was a lot in that question.
Trying to cover myself for upsetting her. Like my dad's feelings.
Body feels good. It's kind of only just accepted the fight like midday today over here. So I'm still like leaving everything to Frank, and he's talking to Huge, and they'll kind of put a training camp together. Like I trust them as coaches, so I don't even feel like it's something that I'm planning too much. Like I know the work will be there, and compared to the last training camp, I'm excited to like actually train for a fight. Like it's gonna be exciting. And in terms of my body, it feels recovered. Talked to Geordie, the fight dietitian. He told me to go out and eat some burgers. So that's like everything's cool. I already feel like pretty well rested, and I'm excited to get some training done, and then get out there and get another opportunity to go to work. Like I'm excited all around for all of this. I'm excited for the training. I'm excited to not go back to New Zealand into lockdown. Like that is like another major plus to taking this fight, is that I don't have to go home and sit in my house like that, or go back and sit in a hotel room for 2 weeks. Like I get to actually stay here and train. And man, it's just like, if my family was over here, this would be, it would be perfect.
Right, because you're supposed to fly out in 2 days, 3 days on Sunday your time. So had you jumped on that flight, you would basically be screwed, and this fight probably wouldn't be happening.
Yeah, but I did at like 11 this morning. I did like my COVID test for the plane. Like I was expecting to get on a plane and go home.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're excited about this fight. What I love about this, right, is that for the longest time, people have been accusing you of ducking Islam. Oh, he doesn't want to fight Islam. Oh, he's scared of Islam and this and that. Not only are you fighting the guy, you're fighting him on short notice. What kind of message do you think that sends to everybody? What do you think it says about you that you're willing to step up in far less than ideal conditions and fight this guy? Basically what you've been saying this whole time, that I will fight him.
Yeah, like it's worked out. It's worked out for the best. Yeah, like people were chiming in, but that's when I fought Paul Felder on the main event. Like I was giving him some stick, like way back then when he was calling me out for that. I already knew that I had the Paul Felder fight, and he was like calling me out for the main event in UFC Auckland. And I made a joke. I said I'd have to give tickets away in the car park. And I feel like he wasn't a big draw back then. Like he wasn't ranked. No one was really speaking about him that much. So I feel like now the fight means a lot more to me. It was like during that time, and then I knew I was going to have the Dustin Poirier fight when he was like calling me out again. So I had two incredible fights. I had the Paul Felder fight, Dustin Poirier fight. Like I wouldn't take back the timing of either of those fights, because I feel like Felder was an incredible main event at UFC Auckland, and then I learned a lot from Dustin Poirier when we fight, and had a great matchup at the Apex and another main event. So it's, yeah, like the timing on everything has been phenomenal. So it's, yeah, people can say what they're going to say. It really doesn't matter. There's still people that talk shit about Khabib's record. Like people just talk shit. Like
I think it's interesting because with UFC 266, your story, Nazareth's story of getting to the fight, and obviously it being such a great fight itself, was one of the highlights of this event. Now you jumping up fighting Islam, UFC 267. For many, obviously the champ, Islam Blachowicz, is on it. There's some great matchups, but for many, this is going to be the fight to look forward to on the card. And it's funny how you spoke about timing and car parks and stuff, because timing-wise, this thing has worked out really, really great. In terms of stakes, what do you think is on the line if you beat Islam here, especially after, being the story of UFC 266 now going on and being one of the guys everyone's super excited to see at UFC 267, and then getting a win over Islam at this point?
Yeah, like I feel like it's massive. Like I feel like a win there really puts you in the mix. Like they're setting him up for a title shot. He was saying in interviews, he's like, after I beat RDA, like I'm getting a title shot. So he's obviously getting told that by his like management team and things like that. That's like what's on the line for this opportunity. And I know there's other fights out there. There's like Gagey Chandler. That fight, like, but Charles and Poirier still have to fight. Like, you don't know who's going to catch an injury here or how these performances will go. It's just like a bit of a sandstorm. But I feel like with a win over Islam Makhachev, it puts me right in the mix. I definitely feel like I'm in the mix after that. I definitely feel like max 2 fights off a title. Definitely if the stars align, I'm in with a title shot.
Yeah, well, this is where things get interesting, because if Charles Oliveira beats Dustin Poirier and you have Michael Chandler beating Justin Gaethje, here we have the man that gave him the nickname Charlie Olives, possibly getting a win over Islam. That could lead to a title shot right there, right?
Yeah, like everyone knows I'll happily talk shit about Charlie Olives. I feel like that fight. I feel like there's years of me saying mean stuff about Charlie Olives to fall back on. Yeah, like I feel like there's years of it. You go back, I feel like I'm in too deep to even take any of it back. So I'll just double down on it.
Yeah. Makes Conor Habib look like a tea party.
I'll happily double down on making fun of Charlie Olives.
I feel like I know the answer here, but is it personal at all between you and Islam? I know you kind of joke about stuff. Is it personal at all when you go in, and especially like going to enemy territory? Maybe not enemy territory, but going to Abu Dhabi. That's going to be a pretty surreal experience.
I'm pretty happy in like hostile tension. In like hostile territory. I'm pretty happy in like a confrontational environment. But nah, it's not like it's never like personal with any of these guys. It's not personal. Like if he wants to say mean stuff, he can say mean stuff. Like, but nah, to me, it's not personal. Like having something personal, having a real problem with someone, if I had a real problem with someone, I'm not going to go to weigh-ins with them. I'm not going to stand on a scale with them. I'm not going to do like a little face-off with them. I would fight that person. It's not personal. This is fighting to prove you're the best fighter in the world.
Oh, just on the situation with the team and everything like that. I know Eugene was on the show and he said things are sort of in the beginning stages. You'll have a bunch of teammates that are kind of stuck overseas towards the end of this year. Are you anticipating that this move happens pretty quick for you guys, you and the family, maybe after you get back to New Zealand? That's when all the stuff happens, when you guys start establishing this City Kickboxing America thing. And have you guys kind of spoken any more about that? Any idea of where it could be or how soon it could happen?
Yeah, like it looks like it's going to happen pretty soon. Like I'm over here. There's no going home for me. I can't get back to New Zealand, so it's the best thing to do would be to bring my family over here with me. So for me, it's done. I'm here. I'm in the States. I'm training. That wheel is well and truly in motion. A bunch of others, the girls, Jenna and Michelle, are already stuck as well. Kai and Brad will be stuck before the year is finished. So it's already happening. Like the wheels are in motion.
Yeah, half the team's already there. You're just waiting for the other guys to catch up, hurry up and come over. As we let you go, Dan, what is the official prediction? No more shitting on your wrestling. No more downplaying anything. You're going there to win. What is the official prediction?
It's a little early for that, boys. I'm sure we're going to do another interview between now and the actual fight.
I love the confidence. I love it. Yeah.
I'm sure that's gonna that time will come. But I'm confident. And yeah, like picking a result. Are you asking for how the result of the fight will go?
The round, the maneuver.
Yeah.
No, I was just just trying to get an early feel for it.
Yeah, like I feel like best case scenario for me is like not to just like knock him out or something. Like that's not what I envision, because that's not what I want out of the fight. Like say it's like a Ben Askren, he shoots, I still haven't proved that where my grappling sits in the division. Like that's still not answered the questions.
You don't feel like after your last fight? Because a lot of people are very impressed with Dan Hooker grappling performance of 266.
Yeah, there's different. Like that's like a offensive grappling performance.
Now I'm trying to give you compliments and you're talking yourself down.
No, I'm saying it'll be good. I'm saying that's offensive wrestling. It'll be good to display like some defensive skills, because it'll be good to show off. It's cool to show off like a bit of everything. You get to show off how well-rounded you are.
Let's end on this note. Let me redeem myself. I think the more important question are really the story.
We have things to redeem ourselves for today, Dan. All right.
I want to sleep tonight, Dan. No, but I feel like really the most important question is why? Why take this fight? And I know you've said I just can't resist a fight, etc., etc. But I guess to really understand, the way your mind works, I'm just fascinated. I think there's so many people that, would have considered it, would have, if not taken it, would have at least considered it for longer. And the fact that you've just gone in and just said, yes, no worries, it's done so quickly. What is it that you want from this? Other than obviously a payday and providing for your family, what is it there that you want to prove? Why take this fight?
I took it because I would regret not taking it. I would regret turning it down, going back, sitting in a hotel, and living with regret is just not. It's just not part of my story. Like I don't regret any fight I've ever taken. I don't regret the Dustin Poirier fight. I don't regret the Michael Chandler fight. You put me back in that exact same position, I still take that fight. Like I don't skip that fight or miss that fight. I have absolutely no regret for any of this. I'm excited. Like I'm all in. It's like a powerful thing to live your life without regret. It's cool. I wouldn't live life any other way.
Wow. Well, some powerful stuff there to finish the interview out on, guys. Of course, you can now watch Dan Hooker make his big return UFC 267 against Islam Makhachev. And this is the beginning of a 25-part Dan Hooker interview series leading into the fight. So just let George Hickman over there know that,
Frank
15
Hickman.
minutes. Yeah, Frank Hickman and the boys over there know, he'll be there 15 minutes early, but you might be speaking to a submission ready all the way over there on the car, on the ride over. Dan Hooker, thank you so much, man. Can't wait to see the big return.
Thanks for your time, man.
Pleasure, guys. Thank you.